Hey everyone, my name's Allie and welcome back to my channel Mindful Living. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to quick pickle vegetables. When it comes to pickling, the options are absolutely endless. From cucumbers to jalapenos to red peppers and so much more. Today, I'll be sharing 3 of my all-time favorite things to pickle, which is red onions, cucumbers, and asparagus. Pickling is known as the process of preserving or extending the shelf life of food. It's really simple and easy to do. I prefer doing a quick pickle myself, which is a little different than traditional pickling. It's much faster and easier, and can be stored in your fridge for up to 2 months. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on the recipe. So what you will need for today's recipe is vinegar of your choice, water, and a sweetener of your choice. I'll be using white sugar today. Along with some containers to put your pickles into, I'm going to be using mason jars, but feel free to use whatever containers you have. I'm using pickling cucumbers, asparagus, and a large size red onion. Okay, let's get started with the quick pickled red onion. I'm just going to be slicing my red onion pretty thin here. Once it's done, it should look something like this. And then you're gonna go ahead and transfer that into your mason jar, and you wanna pack this pretty tight. You don't want there to be any air bubbles, so go ahead and keep pushing the onion into the container. You really want it to be squished in there. Usually the mason jar will do 1 entire red onion depending on the size. And we're gonna go and get started on our brine now. So all you need for your quick pickle brine is 1 cup of water to 1 cup of vinegar. In this recipe, I'm going to be using apple cider vinegar for the red onions. You're also gonna need a decent amount of salt. I don't measure here, but I would say at least a teaspoon. And I'm gonna go ahead and crack that right into my brine. Followed by 1 tablespoon of white sugar. You can use any sweetener of your choice here. In the past, I've used honey. You can use brown sugar if you prefer that. It's really up to you. Then you're gonna go ahead and bring your brine to a light boil. We don't want it to be at a high temperature. I usually do this on a medium heat. Once it's lightly boiling, you wanna turn it off and pour it over your red onions while the mixture is still hot. Go ahead and put the lid on and seal it really tight. I usually give it a little bit of a shake here, and that's it. As the red onion begins to pickle, it really is so cool because it turns into a really bright pink color. Okay, moving on to cucumber. I definitely could not do a quick pickled video without adding in the classic cucumber. Pickled cucumbers are one of my favorites. One thing I will mention is homemade pickles definitely taste a little different than the store-bought ones. I really enjoy a homemade pickle. The flavorings you can put in are really up to you. Today I'll be doing a garlic and dill cucumber. So let's go ahead and start chopping our cucumber into spears. If you prefer to leave them whole, you can do that as well. It's up to you. I like to keep mine around this size, but again, if you like it a little thicker or thinner, just feel free to adjust that. And I'm just gonna smash 3 pieces of garlic. I absolutely love garlic. If you don't like it that much, you can feel free to do only 1 or 2 cloves. And now to make the brine for the pickles. So this one I'm going to be using 1 cup of water with 1 cup of white vinegar, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, and a decent amount of salt. Like I said before, bring this to a light boil, and once it's lightly boiling, turn it off. On top of the garlic, I will be adding in dried dill and mustard seed as well to my pickles today. This is optional, but just adds a little bit of extra flavor. And now we just want to assemble our pickles into the jar. You want to try and squeeze as many in there as you possibly can. I like to put the garlic and the seasonings at the bottom because then when I shake it up, they'll go everywhere around the pickles. If you put them at the top, it's a little bit harder because they can get stuck on top of the pickles. And there you go. There we have our quick pickled cucumber. And moving on to asparagus. So for my asparagus, I am going to be using a larger size mason jar. As you guys can see here, asparagus is a lot taller, and you want to cut around this line here so they're going to be able to fit into the mason jar properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the ends off of my asparagus. I will be adding in a few cloves of garlic, so I am going to smash that and give it a really rough chop, and then put that into the bottom of the mason jar. And then you can go ahead and add your asparagus right into the mason jar. If you're finding that some of the pieces are not fitting, you just need to trim them a little bit to make sure they're the right height. All of mine seemed to fit in perfectly, which was great, and you really want to pack them in there as best as you can. In my opinion, the more the merrier. So for this one, I'm using the exact same brine that we used in the cucumbers, which was just white vinegar, water, sugar, and salt, and pouring that directly over the asparagus while it's still warm. And I am going to add a few black peppercorns to the top. This is optional. Go ahead and put the lid on and give everything a good shake. And there you have it, quick pickled asparagus. I absolutely love pickled vegetables. They are delicious when added to salads, sandwiches. There's so many things you can do with it. Go ahead and put the lids on. Make sure to seal it pretty tight, and you can leave these in your fridge for up to 2 months. I hope if you guys enjoyed this quick pickle video today and want to see more recipe videos like this on my channel, you will leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you in my next one.